Hi, this is Doug with IdahoMMA.com. I'm here with Combat Fight Series promoter and matchmaker Brandon and Jeremy Smith. Thanks for your time, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
So now let's talk about, you guys are fighters. You fought in the cage before, and Jeremy, you've boxed. So what's the promotion business all about?
You want me to take this one?
Go for it.
Well, we noticed a lot of fighters in the Northwest that had a lot of potential, that were, definitely had the talent to get, to the top levels, but nobody was getting behind them. There were so many shady promoters out here that were making promises they weren't keeping, not paying their bills, doing things like that. Not going to name any names, but they were here. And so once we heard that the venue over at CenturyLink had opened up, we talked to those guys over there, and they decided they wanted to put on their own promotion. So we went to the Idaho Center and met up with Craig, and they've been great. And we kind of started the ball rolling to get in there. And but ultimately the idea, obviously it's a business. You want to make a few dollars, but the idea was really to get behind some of these fighters and push them to those upper levels, and get them in the bigger venues. And I think we've made enough contacts in this adventure to do that.
Well, you mentioned adventure. It has been an adventure. Brandon.
Yeah, tell me about it.
So let's talk about your experience in matchmaking. How's it been going?
It started out pretty good, pretty solid, and now that it's coming down to crunch time, I'm learning that matchmaking isn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. I thought it would be a pretty cool, simple job. I set up some fights here and there, and I'm learning a lot along the way. It's been a really educational process, I guess you could say. I'm learning a lot on the business aspect as well, with working the numbers, what licensing, this, that, fighters, taking care of them, and ultimately, I think what's going to separate us from everybody else is becoming friends with the fighters. A lot of fighters have tons of respect for us because we're friends with them. We go fishing with every fighter. We barbecue. We do all kinds of cool stuff with them, and that's how it should
Spar
be.
with them, hold
Spar,
them.
Right, and you guys will see all that on Facebook, the videos and pictures. But yeah, no, it's been a great process so far, for sure.
Well, you talk about doing a lot of things with the fighters, and one of the things that I've noticed just being around you guys is that, especially you, Brandon, you're in there rolling with the guys, and you're trading punches with them because you've done it. Both of you guys have done it. So you think that's got to set yourself apart, especially in the eyes of the fighters.
Right. My idea was, it's really hard to find a legitimate training partner, at the gyms. A lot of gyms have, kind of their specific top fighters, and, outside of their circle, not a lot of people cross-train around here is what I've come to realize, and so I have been sacrificing myself to become a body for these people. I want everybody to, be fighting at their top potential, and if I could do everything in my power to push them to be at their top potential, then I'm doing my job right, and I just feel it's necessary.
And I think it goes to show you're never going to see a promoter or a matchmaker in there sparring with their fighters, and I think it just shows a lot of the MMA community in the Northwest that we're going to do whatever it takes to get them to where they want to go, and if that means me and Brandon or whoever has to go down and get punched in the face by them to make sure that they're sparring, to make sure that they're on weight, then that's what it'll take. And we've sent that message to all the gyms and all of the fighters. If you need a training partner, I don't care what level you're on. I don't care if you're the highest end pro. If you need someone to spar with, I'm going to go spar with you, or Brandon's going to go spar with you. And I think it brings the idea that we're not going to be in the shady end of the promotions game to the fighters and managers and coaches, and it kind of breathes some life back into MMA, especially in Idaho, where we've had so many problems, Right. So, I think that we're just taking it to another level that most people haven't really thought of yet. You're not going to find another promoter lacing up to go spar with a fighter.
Right.
So, it just makes sense to do it that way, to show these guys that we are really there for them. It's not about lining our pockets. It's not about catering to our sponsors. It's not about any of that. It's about getting these guys to the top level and ultimately being partially responsible for them getting there.
Right.
Right on. Well, I know that your message to the fighters has been real clear, but the message to the fans out there. Okay, the event's going to be at the Boise, Idaho, or the Ford Idaho Center in Nampa on June 21st. What's your message to the fans? What can they expect?
Yeah, we're definitely going to be a lot more exciting. We got a lot of great ideas in store, and we're working those all out. We got a brand new 26-foot cage with a catwalk on it. That's kind of unseen around this area. Just different little perks. All the little things that we're incorporating into our show is going to make a world of a difference, overall. So I'm not going to spill any secrets, but I will say that it's going to be a fun show for sure.
I won't say that we're going to spill any secrets, but I will say this, that we've done a lot of our matchmaking. Brandon here, my son, who's basically put this whole thing together, he's been very diligent in investigating the fights, making sure that the fights are going to be really competitive. We've got a more I guess the best way to put it is a crowd interactive type of setup for our show. And again, we're not going to get into everything that's going to go on. We just want to, let the public know that it's going to be a whole different style of event than what they're used to around here. We're here to promote these fighters and get them to where they want to go. So the only way to do that is to set up extremely competitive fights, not what I like to call the slap and scratch matches where, you have a shady promoter talking about, do you want to fight? You want to fight? Cool. You guys are going to fight. We've put together one rematch, Daryl Flores and Talon Hoffman, and I was at their first fight at the Revolution, and I'll tell you what, those guys will bring down the roof. So now they both have something to prove. Daryl Flores lost that fight, and I've never seen him train harder. I've known Daryl, he's worked for me. We've been friends for a long time. Talon Hoffman is game. He's the kind of guy, we made a phone call to him, and he said, I don't even care who it is if they're in my weight class. He's a very, very talented fighter. We also have Tommy Turner, who is a beast in the boxing ring. He's, I believe, 18-5 on his amateur record for MMA, and he's making his MMA debut, and he's biting off a lot. His pro debut. And he's fighting Gabe Miranda, who's a real veteran of the sport with, I believe, 26 fights. They're both very good guys. They're both very competitive. And I think that right there for me is the fight that I'm the most excited about. Our amateurs are the top level guys. They're the guys that are getting ready to go pro. They're the guys with win records instead of 2-10 loss records. We're putting it together in a fashion that when people leave, I think that there's going to be gossip, and they're going to tell their friends that they have to check this out. Ultimately, we're trying to build a brand that Idaho, as a people, and the MMA community can be proud of.
I hear you. I'm excited. I'm excited to see the cage. I think that's something that the fighters, especially, having their own catwalk right out to the cage. That's going to be exciting. And the fans, it's coming up. We're only talking, a couple weeks away. So I know everybody's like holding their breath, but I can't wait. You guys got any shout outs you want to give out there to anybody?
Oh yeah, definitely. First and foremost, Doug with IdahoMMA.com really invested a lot of time into this. A lot of the brain work, a lot of the stuff behind the scenes has come from Doug, and we really appreciate that.
Don't shake your head, Doug.
Yeah, he's shaking his head all. It's blushing. Don't edit this out. But another guy, John Holzman, he's also doing his part. He's doing a really good job. And Jeremy Smith, Country's Concrete, A&J Curbing, Mobile Concrete. All this would not be happening if it wasn't for these guys, specifically him. Definitely on that end of the financial end. And other than that, everybody, the fans and everybody that's involved with it, the fighters, who have been with us from the beginning, we really appreciate all the cooperation and all the feedback that we've been getting. So, yeah, for sure.
I think, I support everything he says, and obviously, but also, our family has sacrificed as much as we have to get this off the ground. So, when the kids want new Nikes and we have to wait a couple days, everybody that's sacrificed to get this here. Obviously, all the coaches, the gyms, the fighters, the managers, the guys that are, bleeding and sweating to help us make this happen.
Right.
Ultimately we got into this kind of blind. We had an intimate knowledge of MMA, but getting in the cage and fighting is a whole different, it's in a whole other realm than promoting and matchmaking and building a business out of it. And so, everybody has put in their work, and there's too many people to list, so don't get offended if you aren't on there. But
Glory and
Glory and Spin
RFA.
with RFA, they've helped us out a lot. We actually bought our cage from them. Just everybody involved, but I don't want to leave out the family. They've sacrificed as much as all of us have, and hopefully it'll pay off in the end, and we'll be able to make a growing business and get behind these guys like we said we would to begin with.
Right.
Perfect. So it's June 21st, Ford Idaho Center in Nampa. I can't wait for it. If people want to follow you on Facebook, I know Brandon, you're on Facebook.
Right, I'm very active on there. He's pretty active in the Combat Fight Series page. Be sure to like that.
Or go to combatfightseries.com.
Right, combatfightseries.com, that works. Sorry, not to prolong this video, but one person that we did leave out that's pretty important. We want to thank Craig over there at the Idaho Center. They've done a lot. They've worked with us a lot, and we're really appreciative for that. So yeah, one guy that we should not leave out.
All right. Well, thanks again for your time. I appreciate the interview, and I can't wait till the weigh-ins on the 20th. And fight time on the 21st, and I can't wait to see the cage. Thanks, guys. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Doug.
Live Saturday, June 21st at the Ford Idaho Center. Daryl, the Mexican Fiesta Flores, takes on Talon Hoffman for a CFS Combat Fight Series professional MMA rematch. Plus, hard-hitting Tommy Turner meets Gabriel Miranda.
Oh yeah, baby!
The CFS Combat Fight Series. It's Flores, it's Hoffman, and it's all live. June 21st, Ford Idaho Center. ICTickets.com.
Sanctioned by the Idaho State Athletic Commission.